What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Smashing Pumpkins, and I do apologize, this deep dive has fallen off perhaps as long as any other, but I've been trying to get back to it, and we are now back to the second disc of the double album, Mellon Collie and the Infinite Sadness, 1995. We're up to In the Arms of Sleep on the Twilight to Starlight second disc. As I mentioned, as I've been going through this album, as well as Siamese Dream, I had these albums back in the 90s, I listened to them, but ultimately it's amazing to me how a few songs have come back, and some of them in reasonable detail, a couple in like lesser, just sort of certain parts sounding familiar. But there's a number of tracks that I don't really remember listening to, which is crazy. Because it's such a good album, and ultimately the fact that they had this many tunes, they literally were they had this many tunes to go on to what was supposed to be a single album. So I'm just impressed by what they were doing at a time that I was sort of paying attention to them, but obviously not as much as I could have. But yeah, I like the phrase "in the arms of sleep." It sounds like slumber or repose, but that could obviously be a metaphor for death, meaning if you're dying or if you have died, you could be considered in the arms of sleep. Ultimately, I suppose sleep could be a more literal in terms of, sleeping until you wake for another day, but yeah, there's a sort of morbid poetry to it, so let's find out if that has anything to do with the song, and once again, once it starts, it is at least conceivable that I may recognize this, but when I saw the name, I was like, man, I don't remember that title, and that's a really cool name, so let's find out what it is. Smashing Pumpkins, In the Arms of Sleep, from the 1995 double album Mellon Collie and the Infinite Sadness. I don't remember this, but I like the folk rock kind of feel.
Sleep will now come to this tired body now. Peace will now come to this lonely heart. There are some things I live without, but I want you to know that I need you right now. I need you tonight. I steal a kiss from a sleeping shadows, 'cause I'll always miss her wherever she goes, and I always need her more than she could ever be. I need someone that heeds my mind, but sometimes someone is so hard to find, and I'll do anything to keep her here tonight, and I'll say anything to make her feel alright, and I'll be anything to keep her here tonight. 'Cause I want you to stay with me.
Made me think of Baby It's Cold Outside.
I need you tonight.
I love that.
She comes to me like an angel out of town, as I play say, on my knees, there are some things I live without. But I want you to know that I need you right now. Sigh for my desire. Sigh for my desire. Sigh for my desire for you. Sigh for my desire. Sigh for my desire. Sigh for my desire for you.
I was hearing those layers, which I like. That one, I assume that was like guitar with distortion, but like they were buried under everything else. So then at the very end, it was like everything else was seated, and I finally heard in isolation what I was like trying to decipher for like a minute there. But because at first I thought it was like an organ. I guess I thought they were like long organ chords, and it's like, wait, no, I think that's guitar. Either way, a really cool tune, and one that, you know, lyrically, I think I heard enough of it to assess it's someone who is, I suppose, in the midst of this experience with this fantastic person, this attractive person that he needs tonight, that, you know, he doesn't want to leave. At first it sounded like maybe he wanted to be with this person, but they weren't there, so then he was looking for somebody, like, you know, someone to fill that void. But then it's like if he's saying, like, essentially, like, I don't want you to go, which again, that made me laugh because it made me think of the baby, it's cold outside. But yeah, then I would assume she's there. Now, that could all just be like on the surface of it, and it, you know, could certainly be more complicated, that, you know, he's referring to someone who isn't there, like they're dead, and so then it's like this is all what he would like to have be the case, but is not, because, you know, it's not possible anymore. She's in the arms of sleep. So again, I don't know if the arms of sleep is like, you know, being in the repose with someone else, being in a sort of super intimate setting, or if it is playing off the idea of death, and there's like a disconnect between what he's saying and what the reality is. So either way, intrigued by the lyrics. A couple cool like vocal moments from Billy, where he goes from that low key like soft delivery he does, and he like ramped it up to his more like intense kind of like nasally delivery instantly. I enjoyed those moments. Couple cool extensions. And yeah, like a nice tune that I don't remember. Again, I guess there were just a handful that I really keyed in on, and to my own detriment, ignored much of the album. But again, that's why we're here, and we're back to the Smashing Pumpkins deep dive. So shout out to all those who are still interested in checking this out. I feel like maybe Sophia will find her way here. If you do, shout out to you. Shout out to Luca, who like is trying to redefine how ridiculous a sleeping cat can be. At this point, I mean, she's literally like, I call her a croissant cat a lot, because she sort of like gets into that curled like ball, but she's now like the like ends of the croissant are like overlapping, so now it looks like kind of one of those ribbons like that you see people put on their cars, like a, you know, pink ribbon for breast cancer or whatever. Like she's like folded over herself. This is all fascinating, I know, I do apologize, but we will be back. I suppose I can buy a little time here and let you sit in your ribbon pose for a little longer. The next tune, 1979, pretty sure I already reacted to that, because that was one of the tracks that I actually did remember reasonably well going into this deep dive, along with, again, Bullet with Butterfly Wings and Disarm on Siamese Dream. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure I reacted to that. So if that's the case, the next tune will be Tales of a... what is it? Tales of a Scorched Earth. Is it scorched? That would make sense, yes. It's just like, there's like orange lighting behind the word scorched. In any case, if that is indeed the case, that I've already reacted to 1979, I'll skip ahead to that one for the next one. And sorry, Luca, at this point I've delayed as much as I can. I shall try to, like, move the pancake ribbon cat onto the chair. She seems to have accepted this with relatively little bother, so we're all better off for it. Do let me know what you think of this. I will see you next time. Peace.